Welcome once again to Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast, Episode 3. I got a very special show for you guys today. With me, as always, is Sret and the Savage, JR Butchman Lee. And we got a very special guest today. Tell them what your name is, son.
Just go along with Big T.
Big T is in the house tonight. Before I get started here, I'd like to dedicate this show to Greg Karras of Galactic Greg's in Valparaiso, who just passed away, unfortunately. Great guy. Spent a lot of money in his store. I probably will continue to do so. Just wanted to throw that out there for you folks of the region. So moving onward. Today, I wanted to talk about pro wrestling toys and some of the first toys you guys remember having as kids and, kind of if you still collect now, what's going on, what you've seen. So we'll start around the table. Butchman Lee.
I think we all started off probably with the giant rubber, no articulation.
The LJN guys.
Yeah. Found one. I was digging in my backyard when I was, like 12 or something. And I found like King Kong Bundy. They're like, his hand was like bitten off.
Yeah. They were dog toys. They made great dog toys.
Yeah.
I remember Brad telling me he would throw them in the pool and they'd sink down in the deep
You gotta dive down.
Yeah, but then the chlorine ate all their clothes off, so you have a naked King Kong Bundy, or a junkyard dog.
That's what I was wondering is actually how many they made. Like, I know that there was Big John Studd, Andre,
there was
Macho, Hogan.
Coco Beware, Roddy Piper, Hillbilly Jim. I had him.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Rick Rude one.
Ric Flair, too.
Was there a Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Well, I remember WCW had some toys that were kind of like them, too, but they were smaller and they were hard. They weren't even rubber. They were hard plastic.
Right.
The Sting and Luger, I had that. Oh, man, and those things, you fucking throw them at somebody.
Well,
that's how you played with those toys.
You said Sting and Luger. Well, Funko just released a combo of Sting and Lex Luger vinyl pops.
Oh, yeah, the vinyl pops for all you nutty collectors out there. There's a vinyl pop for everything. Sretton, did you know that?
I don't even know what the vinyl pop is.
It's stuff that looks like the little kid toys.
Yeah, but they're kind of Japan-ame, I guess.
We had them in here last
Big
week.
head ones, sort of.
Yeah.
Big eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Big Head Todd and the Monsters.
Adorable.
They got them for everything.
Yeah, they still haven't made a Danny Trejo one, though.
They'll get there. Hey, word around the street relating to the business is the Young Bucks have one coming out.
Really?
And they'll be coming out, I think, in June. I seen Nick and Matt Jackson's tweets talking about they seen the first sculpts and said they look pretty badass. So first at Hot Topic in June, and then variants, will be at other toy stores and shit like that.
I wonder if WWE will put out a rocker set.
Probably. Marty Jannetty, man, needs money. He's probably got some more crack or meth. He wants to smoke. Man.
So you guys collect all the new ones, right?
Yeah, new.
As many
old.
as you care to. That was my second question. Do you still go back and try to hunt down the old originals? Sorry for my voice.
Well,
I got the boogers.
Yeah, anything from my childhood. I mean, yeah, I'd like to go back and get some stuff. But the thing is, I had so much as a kid. I had like mainly all those lines. So to go back and try to get them all now, it's a lot of money.
Well, especially when Jakks Pacific took over. I mean, they put out figures of everybody. I mean, you had Kurgan.
Who the fuck is Kurgan? The Oddities?
Kurgan from... What? Sorry.
The Oddities?
Isn't that the bad guy from the first Highlander movie?
Yeah.
This is why I try not to talk.
Clyde McLeod.
No, Kurgan, though, when he first came out, he was part of some like militia group.
Oh, yeah. What? Yeah.
I can't even remember what the
I remember
name
that.
was. Yeah.
Fuck
They
that.
had like berets on and shit.
Yeah, the raspberry berets, I think they were. That's no joke.
They were definitely red, so.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, Jakks Pacific, they had a lot of figures. But I'm talking, like, so Jakks, after that, you had the LJN guys, big rubber guys, right? Mm-hmm. Going back to that area before we get into Jakks, you remember, dude, because they were huge when I was a kid, thumb wrestlers, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You stick your thumb right up their ass, dude, poop, shoot, right, and just go at it. They were so cool. I had the Road Warriors, Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. We guys remember about thumb wrestlers? You guys had?
I remember it wasn't their ass I was sticking my thumb in. It was their upper body.
No. They were. It's like they were sitting down on the toilet. That's
like their waist.
No, it was right up their ass.
Let him think what he wants.
You guys know what the truth is. Go find one and you tell me.
Well, do you guys
where
remember,
sick.
like, right around that time, it was make-believe, but they're the little wrestling pink guys? Or,
the muscle men.
Yeah. It's like all types of different little wrestlers and stuff. I collected the hell out of those.
Yeah, they brought those back.
I think you can find them at like Dollar Tree now.
This company, Super 7, they do all the reaction figures, like the old school Star Wars 70s style figures, but all kinds of different shit. Like they have the Misfits ones. They got, Eddie from Iron Maiden, Universal Monsters, all kinds of shit. Badass Friday the 13th, stuff like that. So go check them out. Super 7.
With the new line of figures nowadays, I'm not even sure who makes them now, but
Mattel. Mattel does all the WWE stuff.
Their prices are $20 for one figure, and that's not even like the Wrestling Moments ones. You know, so I just get whatever I can find at Five Below. Then you also had Wrestling Buddies.
Wrestling buddies were the shit. Sren, did you have a wrestling buddy?
Nope. I had a little brother I used to beat the...
He beating the tar out of God.
Yep, wrestling buddies. Hogan and Warrior were the two I had.
Yeah. That know what?
LOD, Macho Man, Ted DiBiase.
That's who you had? I think all I actually had when I was a kid was... Did I have Warrior? I know I had Hogan. I don't think I had Warrior. But, I'm a dad, so I buy all this shit for my son. That's, it kind of filters through me.
Yeah, air quotes for your son.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, he's rocking Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. I got zombie custom ones made of the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. And then Darren Stone hooked him up with Road Warrior Animal on my birthday. It was the best birthday gift ever, It's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to hug this Road Warrior Animal.
Well, then now
they were big, really hard, and real stiff.
Then WWE just came out with their own line of like zombie figures.
Yeah, some of them look cool.
Now they have monsters too. Which Jake the Snake's going to be in that line.
They had Sting as like a fucking scorpion. They got, what else I don't like? The crossover shit. For the sake of kids or whatever, just money. The Ninja Turtle WWF guys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to see the Ninja Turtles as Roddy Piper or the Nacho Men. Yeah.
So what, they're making figures based off of that video game? Like a phone video game where they would take like all the characters and make them into like mythical creatures?
No.
And,
well,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The series is called Mutants, I think. And,
But you know what I'm talking about, that phone game?
Yeah,
that they got. Yeah.
Well, they have a new
made
one
by
now
NetherRealm
called
Studios.
Monsters, and it's got like the Undertaker as like
As a monster.
I don't know, like a bat or some shit, and then like Jake the Snake. He's got like two snakes coming up behind his back. And,
One on his trousers.
yeah,
Oh, my.
you're gonna see his trouser snake tomorrow.
Yeah, Jake the Snake. Well, no, tomorrow. This is we're fast forward. We're in the future right now. We're talking to the past. So we got to represent in that way.
Does anybody in this room have a Undertaker impression? I'm all about those impressions. Is that it?
That was really good.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Get standing ovation. Come on. JPDUB. So yeah, going back to toys, TJ, let's go to you. What's some of the other wrestling toys you remember having as a kid?
Well, I like you guys were asking if like I modern collect. No, like I told you, I stopped at like I think it was the second generation when they were to become the plastic hard guys, and they were about 4 inches tall.
Oh, and they did the action moves?
They did. Each one had Undertaker would like his arm would move. Or
Jake the Snake had the arm you pull back.
Ultimate Warrior, you could just like make them jump kind of.
Remember the Hogan? Everybody had the Hogan where he...
Because Hogan had a couple of them. Because he would have the flex one, then he had the standard one with the arm. And
I had Ric Flair, Rick Rude, Big Boss Man, Andre. Fuck, man, those were good figures, man. And they did... They're doing throwbacks now to that and like the old packaging, but it's like new guys and mixing in with like there's a new Ultimate Warrior one, then there's Brock Lesnar and Kevin
like
Owens,
Dean Ambrose and all.
I mean, some of those guys I don't care, but it's cool that the fact that the nostalgia thing, the throwback, like
everything's about throwback these days.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. I don't give a fuck.
Being a child of the '80s, I'm definitely cool with it.
They're just making me comfortable. No.
But now they have what 6 different types of rings you can buy. Ones with the middle of it will collapse. Ones that are like more proportionate to the actual figures, like realistic size ring, which that's like $120.
See, when I was a kid though, I had rings, but I never used them. I never really put the guys in the ring. I'd just fucking sit there and have a guy in each hand fighting in the sky or something, like epic fucking battles. I used to play fucking like NBA basketball with my wrestlers.
Start in the ring. You'd start in the ring, and then it inevitably ended up on your floor, on the bed, in the living room, like it was like you tried it like on the walls. Like you would not. That would make the match more epic.
Especially if you're doing it with like me and my buddy, but me and him collected them. So about between the two of us, we probably had every single one. It'd start in the ring, in the living room.
Great, because if you didn't have something, you knew your buddy probably got the other one. Me and my buddy used to do that shit back in the day when we were kids, like with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. Like, I'll get this one, or you get that one. It was fucking bring our forces together.
Oh yeah, like same with the wrestling
Ultimate
buddies.
playtime, you know.
Like same with the wrestling
Ultimate
buddies.
playtime, you know.
The wrestling buddies. Out of the
those
4
were
friends I
great.
had, we all had them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, you remember WCW's attempt at Wrestling Buddies?
I do, and you know what? I liked them, and I still have one to this day. It's a little Hollywood Hogan. They did a miniature scale ones, and they if you pressed them, they talked. You know?
I'm talking about the ones that were, basically the same size as the original Wrestling Buddies. Like there was a Goldberg one where like his face was like airbrushed on the very top
all
of his
them
head.
were
Like,
airbrushed.
it was just horrible.
Hogan, they weren't that bad. I liked them. You know, it was cool because no one else, WWE, F, whatever you want to call them, they weren't going to do any more of them. So at least they were coming out, you know. And I still got to get me an eBay special on that NWO Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? For life.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's one thing to kind of tie in. Toys R Us is going out of business. Real as you, Shrenton, you hear about that?
I'm still in mourning.
I know.
I can't talk
and
about
then
it. You
who's
guys
the
go
owner? That Lazarus guy? He like dies fucking right after, they announce all that shit. And he's going to come back like Walt Disney.
They're waiting 10 more years. They're coming back together. They're switching bodies. They cut both their heads off. They're frozen.
But from the ashes rise another dead product, the past KB Toy Store, which Juice used to work at. And oh man, I used to lift Sega games because back then it was like Sega was Genesis was obsolete. They had this cart of just games that have sat there for years. They weren't even selling. So it's like put a couple in my pocket here and there, clocking out. And I got a lot of action figures at cost. I still have them to this day. Hollywood Hogan, man, first dibs. I unboxed that shit. It was mine, I was after high school too. So
Do you guys unbox everything? Or
oh
keep
yeah,
them in the boxes?
every single thing, all the time.
I like that.
When I give it to my son, that didn't sound right. All the figures, mainly all the figures I buy now are for him. He's kind of slowed down on him too now, but he's starting to get that way with a lot of his collectibles. I was never like that as a kid. I remember one Christmas I got it was 20 or 30 X-Men action figures that I had picked out and I knew I was going to get. And there was some rare shit in there that I had found at KB Toy Store, and I'd tear it out, dude, and I had to play with it,
No one thought about that back then.
Yeah. You don't.
There's plenty of stuff I wish I could go back and have still in the box, not touch, especially my G.I. Joe stuff, man. That was
sometimes, crazy. TJ, I wish I was in a box and never touched.
Like we were talking before, old school Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joes,
dude.
I wish I had that thing unpackaged somewhere.
I used to have that Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe. Remember didn't they do a fridge, William Perry one too? Remember one of the Bears?
Fridge, Mr. T, and I think him, and Sergeant, were the 3 celebrities they did.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but...
Go, Joe! Got to get tough! Go, Joe! Yeah! All right, so go ahead, Stretton.
Nothing. That last one, you blew out the mics.
Stretton, what'd you have as a kid, man? Any wrestling toys? Just the big chunky ones?
Just random stuff. No, the small ones like that Iron Sheik. The cheap pliable, the ones that are made out of bubble gum and wires.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a bunch
It
of those.
was bubble gum and
And then the hard we did have the hard plastic ones with the power punch. You pull their arms back. I don't know. I think we had a Warrior and a couple Hogans. Yeah.
Everybody had a couple Hogans and a Warrior.
But all kinds of... I collected a lot of He-Man toys.
Man, I had a shit ton of He-Mans.
They had I think I stopped collecting when they had... what's the expansion? It was like He-Man, and then there was, I think, She-Ra's.
With that skull, dude.
Rogues Gallery. There was one dude called Stinkoid or Stinky.
Oh, the Skunkoer guy.
Yeah, and we got him, and I hate him. He stunk so bad I didn't want to buy any more toys. He ruined toys for me. But I think they made him smell like, no knock against anybody that wears the patchouli scent, but I think that's what they
hippie smell.
They gave Stinky.
Hippie.
They gave him that smell, so the toys smell like patchouli oil.
And smelt. It smelt like smelt. Did it not smell like smelt?
It did, but patchouli. I don't know what you're saying.
Smelt.
Smells
Smells like smelt. She smelled like trout. Anyways, back on track, guys.
But I'm with you on the He-Man. I was there with the He-Man.
Yeah.
Castle Grayskull. Wish I still had it. Battle Cat. Kind of disappointing. I think I could. What is it? My cousin got her. My cousin Stevie got his little boy into it, which I was very happy about. I thought that was cool.
It's your cousin Stevie Richards.
What?
The Blue World Order.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie.
Yeah, I just let my son open a Stevie Richards figure like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, the old school one?
Yeah, I've had
Was
it
that
in
the one you had in like 2005 when Jax was...
Yeah.
ECW was just getting ready to
No. This wasn't an ECW figure. Well, it was, but
it was WWE's ECW.
Yeah.
Like the best of ECW.
Yeah, it came with the stop sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just let him open that.
Like, you better stop buying these toys because the quality has gone cheap, you know?
Yeah.
How much knowledge do you guys have about these new toys? Because I'm asking.
I got a lot.
Do you know about McFarlane toys? Todd McFarlane.
Say it with me.
McFarlane. I lost my voice. Todd McFarlane. Does he make any of the wrestling figures?
You know what?
Because his toys are
if he ever
awesome.
They're great, dude. The detail and everything.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't think he has done any. Shit. You guys will have to Google that one for me.
Yeah, I don't know if he has, but I think I could swear that I think there's people that are similar in his style that have done stuff like that.
He did, because it was a couple years ago. He's only done like 2 statues, I think, and I know one was the Undertaker. It was pretty badass. You know, I think it's like a $200 statue or figure or some shit like that. But I mean, for those who got the money to burn on it, I mean, hell yeah, I'd like to have like a life-size Kenny Omega. The moves I would do to.
I used to have a Psycho Sid and Undertaker figure.
I
had kept in the box. Yeah, where they were posing.
Anders has that.
Well, it was. They ended up getting sued because originally Playmates had made it, and
Makers
I
of
believe
Ninja Turtles.
Jakks Pacific just put their sticker over it, because if you peeled the sticker up, you could see it said like Playmates. But you know, again, somebody ended up opening that,
and there was no Playmate.
They lost all its value. So
Jeez,
fucking bullshit.
Were those the ones that were?
They're like statues, basically.
Yeah,
like 2 feet tall stuff.
They're probably about a foot tall.
You had those one tall guys too. Remember that spoke? I thought.
Oh yeah, I used to have an Undertaker one. Yeah, I used to have.
You used to have a bunch of figures of your father. You know, TJ, did you know Butchman Lee, J.R. Butchko? You know who his father is?
No.
Why don't you tell him who your father is?
Al Snow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's too legit to quit, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
How do you feel to be in the presence of the seed of snow?
Props to your pops, man. He's looking good these years.
Hell yeah.
I see shit on the videos, man. Jacked as fuck.
He goes hard in the paint in the squared circle all day long at age. How old is Al Snow now? I don't want to offend him. He's got to be 50, but he's jacked and entertaining, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
I've
always had mad respect for Al.
I remember some of his old Jax figures though, not so much. Remember they were just like the sides would bend and they'd do this shit right here. Check this out. Like the arms were straight and they were rubber and just the hard plastic bodies, and they get loose like 2 times after you play with him. So he's like that He-Man guy that would spin around, Windman, you know.
Well, speaking of the evolution of toys,
Stone Cold used to look.
We can segue kind of into the evolution of Al Snow. You know, how he terrible gimmick after terrible gimmick, and then he decided to start talking to a mannequin head, and all of a sudden his career took off. That was about the end of his career then. Short segment.
Yeah, there you go.
Who else was had a lame gimmick at the beginning and then stepped it up?
The Rock, Rocky Maivia. That was
yeah, his was terrible, cheesy, trying to be that pretty boy.
Was Stone Cold's, did he have long blonde hair?
Stone Cold's first thing in WWF.
But you know, it didn't suck when he was stunning Steve Austin in WCW. He had the fucking hair, but he was still awesome.
He was part of the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman.
They were cool too, man.
But what was he when he first premiered in WWE?
The Ringmaster.
Ringmaster. Yeah,
Did you ever hear about the names they gave him when he was trying to think of a character? Like, he's like, I want to do something with like the serial killers. I forgot what.
Waylon Mercy.
Name. No, not Waylon Mercy. He was talking. He's seen something on some serial killer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the wrestler
so he's
that
like thinking
played
of
a
like
serial killer.
Stone Cold, and his old lady's like at the time was like, yeah, Stone Cold, that's your name. He's like, yeah, and then he's like, WWE was coming at me with names like Killer Frost and like shit, like what the hell? You imagine like that's just. Back then, though, they were still kind of getting out of that whole cheesy shit from the 80s,
Right.
They have guys like
Doink and Bastion Booger and
Garbage Man and shit.
Well, you even look at
Gobbledygooker.
You talked about earlier about, the legend Jake the Snake. I watched that interview with him where he talked about when Vince first told him about that gimmick. Like, he had no part of it. Like, his original gimmick before he became Jake the Snake was no boots, like a gi almost in a way. And when Vince came to him and he's like, I want you to wear these freaking snakeskin boots and this flashy freaking leotard or tights or whatever, and he didn't want anything to do with it. And Vince is like, okay, I'll find someone else to do it. And Jake was like, okay, never mind. I'll give it a try. And
he
you
took
look
off.
at what he did.
I remember what you were talking about. He was just wearing the scrubs. Here's a little info fact for you children at home. Jake the Snake was a part of the original Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Paul Ellering and
Precious Paul.
Yeah.
Fucking dude.
Aurelian Smith.
I have a question about gimmicks again. This is my last question about gimmicks.
Gimmick infringement.
Reverse gimmick. Was there somebody that had a pretty good one and then
Bray Wyatt.
went bad?
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Barry
I knew
Darso.
where you were going.
Barry Darso. He,
Barry Darso. Wasn't that the Repo Man?
yeah. But you figure he
and
went.
he was Axe in Demolition?
well, before
He was
that,
also
he was with
Doink, wasn't he?
No,
Wasn't he?
that was
No.
another dude.
But before he even was in Demolition, he was like one of the Mad Russians, and then from the Mad Russians, he joined and became Smash of Demolition.
Oh, yeah. He was.
But then
yeah.
after that, he did Repo Man, and then he became like some trucker gimmick where he like
He was a golfer. He was all fuck.
yeah
fuck
he
Barry
he,
Darso.
he fought Dustin Runnels in like a moving truck with chicken wire and
Oh yeah, there was this semi.
yeah, they ended up like getting fired because they like bladed during the match and they weren't
Yeah.
supposed to, so they both got shit canned after that.
When I think about you, I blame myself. Yeah, I remember that match really well. I liked it. So, anyways, Stratton, here's looking at you, kid. You got any more gimmick questions?
No, that was the last one.
I'm trying to think
Moving on.
about a gimmick that started off good and went bad.
Well, we got the Hall of Fame coming up the night before WrestleMania. Some of the inductees that have been announced: Mark Henry, Bill Goldberg, Kid Rock.
Mark Henry's one of them that was handed a gimmick that was crap and made it work.
Sexual, baby.
I give him props for that.
Yeah, he went through quite a few gimmicks.
He
He started out the world's strongest man, then
Then he gave birth to a hand. Well, you know.
then he became a member of the Nation of
gave birth to the
Domination.
Yeah, the Nation, the Black Power Group. Remember that?
Nation of Domination.
That wouldn't get over nowadays.
Farouk's big project, and then Rock took over.
Yeah. I liked Farouk. I liked Ron Simmons, you know.
APA.
I liked him in WCW when he was the first African-American world champion.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my grandpa's favorite last wrestlers because that was who got me into,
He
wrestling.
beat Vader for
Yeah.
the championship.
the championship.
And he was in, Doom. Remember? Just two big black dudes. Him and Butch Reed, man. And Teddy Long was their manager. They were badass. To me, back in the day, at that age, it was the Road Warriors and Doom. Because there's four big motherfuckers.
Larger-than-life characters, yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Did you say Kid Rock is getting into the Hall of Fame?
Unfortunately.
I thought that when you guys mentioned that in the last episode, that was a joke.
No.
Because you made some kind of... Because you guys were talking about The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Which Undertaker was coming back when Undertaker comes back. When you
Yeah.
mentioned Kid Rock, I thought you were joking.
No,
How
I
long was
wish
he
it
in
was.
the...
WWE always puts a celebrity into the Hall of Fame every class, and because he did,
We were talking about that earlier.
Undertaker's theme song.
Stop the
when
celebrity.
He entered before they're putting him in now because of it.
Exactly.
Hey, can I get an eye for everybody that wants the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame to be eliminated?
Or like I said before, there's no shame in taking a few years off of it. Like you don't need to just pick a celebrity out of random that had
Yeah.
something to do with it,
Or
some
the
way
charitable
or how,
shit,
and
because-
just throw them in it.
Well, because
Yeah.
who they put Donald Trump in, Snoop Dogg,
Very good.
Kid
Very beautiful.
Rock,
Drew Carey,
Drew Carey, like
Pete Rose.
Drew Carey was in a Royal Rumble, though. He took a bump, so...
Pete Rose took a
Pete
tombstone.
Rose took a bunch of tombstones from Kane. Fucking Pete Rose.
And it's good for Pete Rose getting into one Hall of Fame.
Hey,
man.
I always bet on Rose, but not Derek. Snap, crackle, pop.
Well, yeah, they need to take that away for a little while.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. And then the Warrior Award, it's a sympathy thing. We're going to give some, mentally challenged person or some cancer survivor an award when, the Ultimate Warrior, his idea of that award was for the people behind the scenes of WWE to be acknowledged, because, it's just like, putting this show on and threatening, bringing the juice to Juice Pro Wrestling. You have people that create what we've all watched forever, and that's a really hard thing to fucking do. All these producers and trucks and get putting in the ring together and all these shows. That's a lot of shit. And I thought that was really cool. Like, acknowledge these fuckers because they're hardworking people.
Oh yeah,
And then the WWE took like, fuck that. Mick Foley's music hit for a second, you know?
Well, the monster machine that the WWE is, yeah, you can't work without the people behind the scenes. The blue-collar, freaking hardworking people. Building the stages.
Here's to you guys, the WWE crew and every crew at any wrestling promotion that has to set up all that shit and deal with the public. I'm drinking a tall, cold zombie dust right now. This is for you.
Well, like nothing even close to having my father being a professional wrestler, but like my uncle did the pyro for the WWE from like 2007, I think, around 2007 to like 2011.
Would you say he was a pyromaniac?
Okay. Yeah, that's Southern Baptist, Alabama.
Yeah.
Into the pyro.
Into the flame.
But yeah, he did that for a while.
When was this?
He did, like I said, I think he did it about late 2005, like 5 to like 10 in that gap area.
Okay.
I couldn't be very specific with it.
But he got a paycheck from
got
WWE.
a paycheck for doing the pyro. Did WrestleManias, SummerSlam pyros.
That's
The
nice.
year that is. So the only thing I got out of it was a WrestleMania crew button-up Dickies shirt.
Oh, nice. JR.
yeah.
Butchman Lee's all about them
Oh, yeah.
button-up dickies.
No tickets, just
Yeah, the button-up
button-up
dickies,
shirt.
the work shirts, you know? Keeping it OG.
oh yeah.
And
I was
then-
gonna wear it today. I was disappointed. I left the house and I was like, man, got to turn around and go get it.
Yeah.
But
There was an incident before with pyro going off in the Undertaker's face.
might have been the reason my uncle got fired.
was-
Yeah,
Credit
'cause
karma.
that guy got fired.
Did your uncle-
right
I
after.
never
Burn the
asked him. I
Undertaker?
never asked him if that was his job, if he was on that when that happened. But he stopped working for him around the same time that
I think they said the guy that did the pyro for that ended up going to work for like Iron Maiden.
Oh, and that is shit canned him. I don't know about. Well, he never mentioned anything about going and working for any bands. Like I said, he's straight like Baptist, so rock and roll I don't think really is his thing. But
Right. All the drugs, sex, the money. It was all for you, TJ.
because I never really got Pacific with him. Not the closest with him, but yeah,
But that's still cool. Your uncle did, shit for WWE. That's
I
what
always
I
thought
like.
it was cool.
I like having people on here that have connections or some sort of story, and that was a great story.
It would have been a sweet
Thank
gig
you.
to get on. I
Yeah.
would have done it with him. Hey,
Fuck yeah.
Travel around doing the freaking pyro
Especially
for
the
the
guys
show.
you don't like, at the time, who was, so what years did you say again? For
2000 to 2005.
Yeah. Think of all the shitty guys you didn't like. Just pointing the fucking fireworks. And doing like the ultimate deletion style or whatever. Shooting them at these
Step
guys. Like,
here
oh,
instead
shit.
of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand on the X.
Orlando Jordan walks by right between the eyes. Just pow, pow. Thanks, Unc.
Well, they've had mishaps. I've watched that before on the network. The little mishaps they've had with that pyro, especially when Undertaker and Kane were having their little thing where they were shooting lightning at one another and shit. You remember that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they had a mishap with that where they almost fried some behind-the-scenes guy with one of them lightning bolts.
How'd they produce lightning?
I never understood how they were pulling that shit off either. Some Tesla coil
They probably
shit,
hired
man.
Thor and shit, and he's just doing it. Like I'm chained up by Odin's beard. So TJ, you're going up to, what is it? Right before WrestleMania weekend, NXT Takeover Chicago, right? You got tickets to that?
I got tickets for the NXT takeover. That's going to be the partner one with the next Money in the Bank. I think that's what I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not WrestleMania. It's,
Oh,
'cause it's
okay,
going to
Money
be
in-
that
oh,
Chicago. Yeah,
gotcha.
because Money in the Bank's coming to Chicago. So that takeover is what I got tickets for. So yeah, don't know anything about the card yet.
Oh.
Just all speculation.
Yeah.
It's too far off.
I don't either.
But-
So you guys can Google it.
From the black matches, like I said, I've been seeing on Instagram. I've been hearing like the black matches, the dark matches
The
that
dark
they've been having of
matches.
NXT.
Don't get
yeah.
racist on
Sorry.
here.
The dark matches should be good. So
Yeah, they got a lot of good talent going. That'll be cool. You get to go see that.
yeah. And like we talked about earlier, when it comes to the pay-per-views,
All in,
NXT
dude.
steps it up. So.
Yeah.
What do you think are the big surprises we're going to see at Mania? Aside
Yeah.
from Daniel Bryan coming back.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. Daniel Bryan is back. Sratner, you're probably not anywhere familiar with this guy.
Who is he?
He was a big indie darling, and then got to WWE and was basically the ultimate underdog story wise. And he's the guy, everybody does the yes point. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yes.
Very clever. But yeah, he's the guy that got that shit started, and he's a good wrestler. He's a good, smaller guy, just good technician. He can do some high flying stuff. He was out for 2 years because he had had so many concussions, and WWE's doctors wouldn't clear him to come back. He had personal doctors that would clear him, but WWE's like, no, you're not wrestling as long as our doctors say no, And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just announced that he's been cleared by their doctors now to come back, and it's kind of a big deal, I mean, it is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
for, you know, wrestling fans, and all the dream matches you could have. You know, guys with styles that are similar, and him and Kurt Angle, him and AJ Styles, him and Samoa Joe.
That's the first one that popped in my head as soon as he was coming back. Was
Ricochet.
actually it's AJ and it's Finn that I hope to see down the line.
Shinsuke Nakamura, dude.
Shinsuke.
Shitsuke Nakamura. I'm just going to say his name one more time. Shitsuke Nakamura.
One more time.
Shitsuke Nakamura.
Where's WrestleMania this year? I keep asking.
New Orleans.
Marlins.
The big easy.
Hey, remember? Do you remember back in WrestleMania 30? What was that? This Superdome, right? New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogan's like, "Welcome to the Pontiac, the Silver Dome."
Yeah, he totally botched that.
Botchamania. Yeah, it's the first time since 4 years ago. Has it been that long since
Yeah.
WrestleMania 30? That's the Warrior died right
Well,
after that.
You
That's
figure
heartbreaking.
what was it? WrestleMania 18. That was
Hogan and Rock.
Hogan and
16
Rock,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
that match.
almost 2 decades.
I went
That's a
back
great
and
match.
rewatched that
And a lot of
match
people
again
knock
recently.
Hogan, but that, you know, he did some good work that night with The Rock. You know, that match lived up to the hype.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Much more so than Brock Goldberg version 1.
The version 1.
Yeah, version 1.
Oh, the first one was terrible.
what,
the worst
30
piece of
seconds?
stinky
Yeah.
dog shit.
I thought the second one
Oh.
started very well.
Oh wait, what are you talking about? His
I'm
latest
talking
run?
about yeah.
No, I love that. I thought it was cool because, I mean, they had to establish that Goldberg character, you know, the dominant. Yeah, he is 50, but he's still in great shape. He's the only guy that realistically probably could have done that to Brock, even in the heyday.
Oh, you talking
Especially
about
in the heyday.
You're talking about the
latest run he had.
but not
No,
the
not-
WrestleMania match. It was the SummerSlam match
No,
that they had. That he beat him in like
Was it
68
SummerSlam?
seconds or something
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the WrestleMania match that was
He lost
I thought
WrestleMania.
was better than
Yeah.
their original WrestleMania
But
match.
that's where the story took you. That's what it built up to. It gave you all this little bit, and you could either get pissed and say "fuck this," or you want to see more. And then they finally culminated with however long a match it was. I don't even know. I can't even give you a speculative number.
It wasn't that
you know?
long of a match, but the only thing it's disappointing me about, which I don't like, is how it was 1 F5 and he was down. I didn't like that. I didn't like how it ended. I thought Goldberg is a character and a guy that I think should have been respected enough to be able to kick out of that F5. I don't like how they're making the F5 into what Kenny's doing with the one-winged angel. Like, no one can kick out. If he lands it, you're not kicking out of it. I don't
The
like it how
one-wing
they're
angel
doing
is way better than the F5.
Yes,
bro.
exactly.
F5 is kind of like a glorified.
And you've had people already kick out of the F5 in the past, so don't try to make that move something that it's not. And I don't
think
like how
Brock
they're doing
should
that.
go back to fuck the F5, do more of the like submission Brock, you know, like
That's what I miss about him.
yeah.
I miss his old
When he
technical
first came
matches.
back there, he was doing a lot of that Kimura, the arm bars. You know, I hated the thing. He broke everybody under the fucking sun's arm, dude. But they were back next week.
I want him to bring back more of his old school style with more wrestling.
I want
like
him
he
to
did.
do more
the stuff that he did with
moonsaults
Angle.
where he lands on his neck.
Yeah. Yeah. He needs to redeem himself. Redeem himself and try it one more time.
So, what other
Sorry, Brock.
surprises
Don't kick
do you
my
think there might be at Mania?
Well, the rumor mill about Hogan, JR, I know you're not a big Hogan guy, but it's big news if they do decide to bring him back. They've acknowledged they've been talking to him about a role. Who knows what this role is going to be? I think if they do, maybe it's a GM.
General Manager.
Maybe. Well, SmackDown too. I think, or they just bring him back as like I couldn't even say if they do an ambassador role because I mean I think they still could. People still love Hogan. He said some shit everybody says, and the world's so sensitive nowadays. They got pissed off.
Even though Vince said it on live TV before.
Yeah, dude. He said the Booker T. Remember that? Maybe I'm not gonna say it for I don't want to be. Cast judgment on me because I said something, but you can go watch that YouTube. Vince McMahon saying some abrasive material to Booker T, and Hogan says it.
But like you asked, when
he's
it comes to
erased.
surprises, the only thing I could really say that has room left for surprises will be the Royal Rumble. And who's going to come out for the Andre
I think
Royal
there'll be
Rumble?
some NXT guys coming
Exactly.
up at WrestleMania. If not, maybe one of Braun's tag team partner will be a guy from NXT. You never know. I mean, who's big down there right now that's ready to be called up? Anybody know that? You guys keep up with it enough?
Aleister Black.
Yeah, but I like him down in NXT, but I think he's going to pick up and be that dark character where Bray should have took over, And now that Bray's kind of like, everybody's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can still turn on your cell phone when he comes out and does his entrance.
Although,
but
do
no
you think
one
he's going to
cares.
continue that gimmick since he got thrown in the lake of
Reincarnation?
Yeah, reincarnation.
Never. I think it's over. Yes. No, he's not coming back. He'll probably come back as Husky Harris.
Husky Harris, yeah.
He should come back as Healthy Harris. Like, I'm trimmed down now, I'm not cheating on my wife anymore.
Well, I hope that... Well,
a little ring announcer, what's her name? Little black girl.
Was it JoJo?
JoJo, yeah. JoJo got a big poppin' booty.
Like you were saying, Aleister Black, I hope they don't take it in that direction at all. I don't think they should take it Aleister Black into the character.
I think they should leave him in NXT right now and get to a Ricochet Aleister Black match, which would be off the charts. Performance-wise, like, it's kind of shit. It's like, it's cream my jeans a little bit, There's a lot of good action, a lot of good storytelling, and
they're gonna bring up what's his face, the champion right now on NXT before they'll bring up Aleister Black. I think he's next.
Andrade?
I think he was in the Rumble, so I think he will be the next NXT guy to come up, and I think that's why they're pushing Aleister a lot more right now.
I'll push Aleister if I ever see him.
But Andrade, yeah, that's his name. Andrade will be probably coming up at WrestleMania.
Okay, we could see that. Anybody? Oh, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I was just gonna get to that point. My prediction is that Brock's going to have Roman Reigns beat, and just as he's about to pin him, Bobby Lashley's going to come back and interfere.
I would get off my couch, and I would probably punch a hole in the wall if that happened. Not really, but that's how I would feel inside. That would be so awesome. I like that idea, and I hope that you're right. Butchman Lee, you've heard it here first on Juice Pro Wrestling. Bobby Lashley comes back at WrestleMania, fucks Brock up, sets up a program. Just wait.
If you could have anybody make a surprise comeback at WrestleMania,
that would be huge.
Who would you personally want to see besides Hogan? Because we all know your love for.
Well, I want Hogan to come back, but it's not like At this point, how many times has he came back? It doesn't really matter. I just think that the way he went out was whatever.
Now are you asking like that generation type?
Anybody in general just makes a surprise appearance at Mania
debut. Man, you know what? I would love, and we were talking earlier, but I know it can't happen because of injuries. Rob Van Dam, and to actually come back and get a proper fucking push, especially with the way they're doing things now with these, 205 Live, the cruiserweight guys. They could put him in that position.
They'd never give him a world title run, though.
No.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. And that he was back a couple of years ago, and they didn't do that. He basically was a jobber, just like Rhino or the Dudleys.
Or
he was an opener, mid-carder.
And to me, that sucks. Let a guy go out strong, because they're. In one way, I get it's helping the business by putting somebody else over as you're going out. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if those people are good. People will still buy into them.
That essentially though, that's why they have certain guys on the roster like a Scotty Too Hottie, who
God, he was on there for way too long.
Yeah, that's just
TJ.
His moveset was just the worst.
The worm. It was the worm. That was his moveset, and the fucking.
Yeah, like how long are they gonna stay laying there so you can hop around on one foot, do the worm, and then karate chop them? Like that. Yeah. That's about as
I'm sorry, but you suck.
That's about as good as a finisher as the People's Elbow or
you suck.
The Hogan leg drop.
Come on now, man. This guy likes to take.
Snuck that one in there.
He always takes.
I mean, come on. We all know Hogan.
Well, you know something, brother.
Hogan leg drop.
Leg drop on your pork chop.
It's open to interpretation whether you think the leg drop was lame. But back when I was a kid, when that thing happened,
when that thing dropped, you knew there was adrenaline about to hit your fucking veins, and you were gonna do some push-ups.
I mean, it was
Yeah. I mean, you really didn't do push-ups, but
you were around the living room with your hands on your head. You can't believe it happened.
Yeah,
can't believe it happened.
Parents have to.
As you get older and you watch him do it, you can't believe he actually can lift his leg that high up.
Oh yeah. Well, he said
that's why his hip is shot because
he said it's made him shorter too. Because when he dropped down, it's on his tailbone. He's like, I've had surgery since then. In the 20, 30 years of falling on my ass like that, it's actually made him shrink. Because he was like 6'7" or 6'6", and now he's like, I think I'm like 6'3".
I thought
he was always clear 6'8".
He's taller than that.
He was always from like back then. He was always
look at
6'8".
him even in his heyday compared to Andre, and Andre was 7 foot tall. But Hogan was just a little bit shorter than him, and he wasn't. He could
Andre was 7'5", so
yeah.
I thought that I recall when I was a youngin watching Hogan, he always had bad posture. He never stood straight up. Even in the video games, you knew it was Hogan because back in the day on Nintendo, you knew the wrestlers not based on real detail, but based on the colors, like their the yellow trunks. But yeah, he was always hunched over. He was Hogan because he was always hunched over walking around the ring. So I don't think he never or he didn't have maybe since the Rocky movies. That's when he lost his posture. I have no idea.
Those kidney shots.
Hey, Hogan lost his posture and Shawn lost his smile.
And his hairline.
Oh God, dude, yeah, that upset me when he was starting to bald. I was like, man, don't these guys have enough money to go take care of this shit? Like that's, and especially in a business, your entertainment, you're in the public eye where your looks are everything. Like, come on, Shawn, like. You got millions of dollars. Go get some Rogaine with minoxidil or some shit. Sting, too, was the latest. Yeah. I was like, God damn. Like Sting, because you're either
at least with Sting, like spray paint your bald spot.
He did, and you can see it sweat off.
Draw another face. Draw another second Sting face. Would that be stupid if Sting painted it like the front of his face white,
paint a crow on the
and red on the back of his head?
No, I think it'd be too sweet, too sweet, too sweet. I think it'd be awesome. I didn't really like Wolfpack Sting. He looked like a fucking bloated tomato or such. That black and red face paint didn't, You
can't make anything look good with red face paint.
It was in the base. The bad part about it was the base. The whole base of the paint was red. So it was pretty much his whole face and then little black lines. Like, it don't work.
It was that shiny red paint, though. That's
dude. He looked, and he grew his hair super long.
As soon as the light would hit it, it would just like reflect.
Dude, there was a point where he looked like John Tardy from Obituary with red face paint on.
It's really loud.
Yes, and really offensive. It's how I roll, son.
Red face Sting all the way.
You know what, Sren? Fuck you.
I like
in the Wolfpack.
I like California Boy Sting best.
I do. He's a man called Sting. Remember that? The cheesy 80s song. Oh, I love those.
I ain't gonna lie, yeah. Sting was one of the first wrestlers that gave me interested. I mean,
yeah,
him and those jackets, man. The cool jackets with the freaking different
He was
face
their
paint.
ultimate warrior. Like as a kid, I was in the whole WWF.
And that's the craziest thing when you look back at their history and they were actually tag partners.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got their start.
Blade Runners. Yeah.
So that's always it's kind of weird. Both of them carrying on like almost an identical gimmick
Steve Borden
into two different companies.
Jim Hellwig.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior from Indiana, for those of you that don't know.
But yeah, Sting was always my Ultimate Warrior rockers from WCW. When I was into color when I was a young kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. That was great.
The colors neon, and the
dude.
neons, yeah.
I used to have those Hulk Hogan sleeping bag that was all like bright, like colored and shit.
The towels, everything, dude.
I had a New Kids on the Block hat.
All about the freaking neon.
Fuck you.
He still has one.
What?
So WrestleMania's coming. Actually, if we're talking about future stuff, it's tonight.
We're in the future.
Yeah, WrestleMania's tonight. I think I asked last week or the week before. I'm going to ask again. What's your WrestleMania ritual?
Well, me personally,
all of you.
Yeah, we're going to go around the table. I tell you my ritual that never happens. I usually try to invite people over because it's like, other than that, I don't care about watching any other pay-per-view. Just the big, 3 or 4 with WWE, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Mania. It gives you a good reason to get together with your boys and drink some beer and eat some food, and talk and do what we're fucking doing right now. Basically, yeah, that's it. Stock up on beer, get food, and just hang out, man, and maybe do some little private endeavors in the middle of the hanging out sesh. But yeah, and just watch the matches, man. But like I said, it's been so long for me since I've had entertained a crowd for a pro wrestling event. I think the last time I even went to something relatively close to what we're talking about was when we went to Hooters. Back in the day, me, you, and Johnny B. Remember the ECW?
Oh, yeah.
One night stand? Yeah, Hooters, Might as well go see that and look at some TNA.
Yeah, because honestly, the past 5-6 years, the only person I really watched the pay-per-view is the Pops. Our ritual is a pizza,
family,
beer.
Yeah, that's what I usually
have
been doing.
The freaking shit.
I have the kids, and the kids even sometimes they're like, they're into wrestling. They've been in the shows. They like it, but it's like, hey, WrestleMania's on there. You're like, I don't give a fuck about WrestleMania.
Yeah, I pretty much, I think last year I watched it by myself at home, but I got my nephews really into it now, so or my sister claims I'm the one who got them really into it because they're obsessed. But yeah, I've watched the last couple Manias with them.
It's a good time. You know what? As much as I dislike WWE now, that's still, like, entertainment-wise, and to be with family and friends, That's a great time, dude.
Yeah.
You don't even have to like fucking wrestling to sit there and like really enjoy that, you know? Because something wacky is going to happen, something brutal is going to happen, something shocking is going to happen.
Shane McMahon's going to jump from something.
Shane McMahon's going to kill himself with a shotgun in this year's WrestleMania, and then he'll be back for more next year, courtesy of Papa Shango.
Okay, so say fast forward to next year's Hall of Fame. Who would be...
Who do you want to see in it?
Yeah. Who would you like inducted?
John Travolta.
He's about as legitimate as Kid Rock, so...
Legitimate as kayfabe. That's a tongue twister. You can't say it. Say kayfabe. Kayfed.
You can't.
I can't. Kayfabe.
Well, like you guys,
Kevin Federline.
we talked about this earlier. I would like to see them freaking give China her due.
China's got to go in. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'd like
mean-
to see her go in the Porn Hall of Fame, too.
Good for the AVN Awards.
Sadly, they could do a separate
Sren
wing
says no.
of the Hall of Fame just for wrestlers.
She had a
who-
wang.
Who it passed? Was that what you were going for?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to make themselves feel better about doing it, I guess they can come up with a whole new thing to justify them doing it. But I think they just need to put her
Just
in.
do it.
Just to put her in.
Throw her
Yeah.
in.
I mean,
It'll happen, you know.
and like I think you talked about earlier, Owen. I
Owen
mean, I
Hart.
don't understand why Owen Hart's not in it yet.
It's from what I understand, it's his wife.
Yeah, you said that, but
Yeah.
I think,
mean, it took a lot for them because they just did a special on him not too long ago. I won't say within the year or so they did
Heart of
something.
Gold.
Yeah, they did that DVD.
now there's
And-
2 Hall of Fames though. There's WWE, and then there's
Well, there's many Hall of
There's
Fames.
the Cauliflower Alley Club. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
cauliflower. None of us on Juice Pro Wrestling can speak correctly.
But
Cauliflower.
isn't there one that just goes all across the board? You know, all different types of like WCW people. that
Here,
have not-
I'll put it this way, because I don't care about anybody else's Hall of Fame. I care about my Hall of Fame. My Hall of Fame is what everybody's Hall of Fame should be, and that's the same thing you have, same thing you think. You know, all these guys were saying WWE should put in. So that's what I'm talking about. What's your Hall of Fame? If you had 6 guys you can put in next year, who would you pick?
That's not already in.
That's not in any Hall of Fame.
I don't even know all the ones that are currently in. So
Well, and really, for wrestling, the only major, at least in the public eye, Hall of Fame that matters is the WWE one. So whatever, we'll just go with that to help ease it along.
Well, the only reason I was asking that is because I thought that Owen was already inducted into that other one. He just hasn't been inducted into WWE.
Well, Owen, I think Bam Bam Bigelow should be in there.
is Big Boss Man in
Yeah.
Yeah, he went in
Right after he died.
posthumously?
Well, no, I think he was actually just within the past couple of years. Maybe it was at 30. I think it was at WrestleMania 30 he went in.
But it was like about 2 years after he passed, I believe.
Right.
Though.
Hillbilly Jim's going in this year. Don't
Hillbilly.
go messing with a country boy, country boy, country boy.
Do you think Undertaker will get put into the Hall of Fame while he's still, making appearances?
That's a good question. That's a really great fucking question because, like, they should just,
Is he ever going to stop?
yeah, he's on life support at this point. The last, he's moving.
Although I heard
slow.
he's in way better shape this year than he was
I
last
hope so.
year.
And no disrespect to him, but because he is that character that should be able to only show up once a year. That's a cool novelty fucking thing. That's where he's at now in his career, That's how the character has evolved. You don't look at it as, well, yeah, he's old. He's fucking old. You look at the story part and like, dude, he's this fucking undead whatever entity, that comes once a year to reap a soul or something. Keep it like that. And I think they're going to tarnish that by bringing back the American Badass.
Well, they
And I
already
hope-
have
I
by
hope
having
I'm
him
wrong.
lose 2 times. I mean,
That was something that should have never happened.
Yeah.
I've always said that, especially after I found out that he didn't get to make the decision.
right.
Me personally, I would have
How
liked.
could you do that to him? Like, he had been dedicated to that company from day
Well-
one that he got brought in,
Right.
and yet you're going to have this legendary thing of the streak and not let him make the final decision.
The biggest thing that
of- especially
WrestleMania's
who he
ever
gives it
had
to.
was his streak.
Exactly. Or who he loses
But
it
he's
to.
professional as hell, and he went with it, and he did it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So kudos to him, because he could have been like any of us. You get disgruntled on a fucking job because someone's got a bad idea. Or
My
they
thing
make
is
you-
always like been with him is they should have ended his career his career in the ring, in my opinion, should have always ended after that end of an error match.
I think Brock was the perfect
with the Hell
choice.
in the Cell match.
But it should have been his last match, period. And
That could
Brock
work too,
ends the
but-
streak, and that's it. Like, because there's no shame in losing the Brock Lesnar, legit, real deal guy. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
we are where we are, and the Undertaker's about ready to get more white trash than he's ever been.
Who do you think? Who do you think is going to win, Cena or Undertaker? Now that the streak doesn't matter.
I'll put it to you this way: if he comes back as American Badass, and I hate John Cena, I would rather see John Cena win. I can't take American Badass Undertaker. I never liked him.
That's just because you want to see Nikki Bella do her little butt shaking thing. Yeah.
You can look, but you can't touch.
After last WrestleMania, if he does come back and they have him lose again, I don't know.
This has got to be it. This is it.
I don't think that's the one thing I hope they don't do. I don't care. As long as he wins, that's all I want. If he's gonna go out, he's gonna go out winning. In my opinion, he deserves that.
I'll put it this way, and we'll end the segment on the Undertaker. Whether he does or he doesn't, I think we can all sit here in agreement and say that it's just, are you done seeing him, really? Because what can he really give and do?
Exactly.
Are you guys done seeing Undertaker in a match?
I think
I would say
I think if he does the American Badass thing, he's gonna beat Cena.
badass! What's that?
He's gonna beat Cena and then ride off on his motorcycle, into the sunset.
Doing that, the arm.
Yeah, because he already, with the dead man gimmick, set his stuff in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna do the badass and ride off into the sunset.
You know what? Now that you present that idea, I could accept it if it was that, because that was basically his two personas. That whatever.
He's gonna come back as Mean Mark Callis now.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're going to wrap this up for you children out there in the Neverland Ranch and beyond. Episode 3 is done, but you don't have to be. Subscribe to the Green Door Network at www.greendoornetwork.com and hit us up on iTunes and all podcasting platforms. You hear what I say? You hear what I say, Stratton?
Yes.
Do you hear what I say?
I hear what you say.
You better listen to the sounds of a whole nother
He's got bookers.
New apple cinnamon Cheerios. I don't know where the Cheerios came from.